Digimon Digital Card Battle for the PS1 is one of the only Digimon games ever to be released that was actually based on the original Digimon Trading Card Game. There's a new Digimon TCG now with new rules and shit, but this was based on the OG one. And boy, is this game tough. Naively, I decided that I was going to attempt to complete this game 100% without any losses before I'd even put it in the console. This would turn out to be a big mistake. A mistake that cost me upwards of 40 hours of my life and most of my sanity. Why did I decide to commit myself to such torture? Well, this is one of those games I had as a kid that might as well have just been random flashing colours on a screen because I had no clue how to play it. So over 20 years after its original release in 2001, I decided to buy it again for the ludicrous price of 68 quid. I did this A, because this 100% Nostalgia series is all about completing games I failed to finish as a kid, a perfect fit for this game. And B, because in my late 20s I've rediscovered my love for these cute, and sometimes not cute, little characters. I don't know, man, I can't explain it. Like, I haven't got any rational explanation. They're just cute, I guess. I don't know, man. So I've been trying to get a collection of these old Digimon games together, maybe do a big video playing them all, but that's a discussion for another day. And yes, I'm a massive geek, shut up, I know. Anyway, as it turns out, I wasn't just a dumb kid. This game is actually really hard, but I had already committed to this stupid 100% completion with 0 losses challenge. My pre-game rationale was that it's a kid's game, and now I'm a big smart adult, so this should be a walk in the park. Turns out it wasn't. It was a walk in a never-ending polygonal nightmare of trading card game bullshit, cheating opponents, and little dumb yellow shits that live on the internet or something throwing poop at me. So before I get into it, drop a quick comment below letting me know whether you think I'll be able to beat this game 100% without losing a single battle. Reet, let's crack on with the gameplay. So, let me start off by explaining how this game works, because like I said in the intro, the gameplay is based off the OG Digimon Trading Card Game, a very different system to the new Trading Card Game if you're familiar. Bear with me as I take you through this and hopefully make sense of the rules for you. I'm going to try and make it as clear as possible. It might be a little bit boring, but like not boring enough to turn off the video, I swear. Like, I'll make the edits interesting and stuff. Anyway, basically you start with a deck of 30 cards. The deck has a mix of Digimon cards and option cards, which are basically power-ups for your Digimon or powers down for your opponent's Digimon. The name of the game is beating your opponent's Digimon in 1v1 fights, taking their HP to 0 via turn-based attacks. The first to defeat 3 of their opponent's Digimon wins the battle. The battles go down like this. You each draw 4 cards, you choose your Digimon, then you both choose which attack you'd like to use. Either X, normally the least powerful but the attacks sometimes have a special effect, Triangle, which is the middle powered attack, or Circle, which is usually the most powerful attack your Digimon has. Each turn you can then choose to use a support card, either an option card or a Digimon with a support effect. Again, think of them as power-ups for yourself or power downs for your opponent. These can come from the cards in your hand, or you can roll the dice by picking a random card from the top of your deck that you've not seen. A gamble that can totally f*** you, or sometimes win you the game. Are you with me so far? Yeah? Okay.
They cunt kills me. Shite!
So all of these effects happen, and then bada bing, bada boom, you have a fight. Neither Digimon has to die in every fight. It might take a few attacks, but the damage carries over. This system makes whose turn it is really important, because if it's your turn, you attack first and your damage gets done first, so you can kill them before they get a chance to kill you. You can also watch these fights. Each Digimon has their own unique moves and animations, and I love the old PS1 polygon style. It works so well for games like this with little monsters. Definitely my favourite thing about this game. Obviously you can turn these battles off to make things a bit quicker, which ended up being absolutely necessary if I ever wanted to see the light of day again. The only way you can change the Digimon you have in play is by them dying or by digivolving them. So sort of like in Yu-Gi-Oh, every card has a digi-point value, and you can bank those points by discarding the card in order to pay for the digivolving. So there's 3 levels of Digimon: Rookie, Champion, and Ultimate. Rookies don't cost anything and can only evolve into Champions, and Champions can only evolve into Ultimates. It's sort of like Pokemon evolution stages, but not as specific. So as long as your Digimon shares a card colour with the thing they want to evolve into, they can do it. So for example, you can Digivolve an Agumon into whatever the fuck this is.
What the hell? Oh my god, no way, yeah.
However, in a pinch, you can play the Champions and Ultimates without Digivolving, but their stats get slashed if you do that. Finally, you draw back to 4 cards when it's your turn again. You can discard your entire hand if you don't like it for a new 4 cards, but if you run out of Digimon to play, you lose. Right, so that's the basic rules, but with all TCGs, those rules are made to be broken, and there are many cards that break the rules. And it's a lot to take in. I hope I've made it as clear as possible without boring you all to death. Think of how I felt trying to learn this on the fly, man. It wasn't easy. All we've really got to remember is we need to beat 3 of their Digimon to win. It's sort of like a really complicated game of rock, paper, scissors in the sense that there's 3 attacks and you don't know what your opponent is going to pick. However, you can see what cards they have in their hand and what support cards they could use, so you've got to make a judgment and try and guess what they're going to do. It's actually quite fun when you get your head around it. Well, it's sort of fun for like a few hours, but I spent 40 hours trying to complete this thing, and yeah, the fun definitely stops before 40. Let me just put it that way. So to beat the game, you take your little anime dude, the only little anime dude available, and you travel to different arenas. You beat all of the characters at the arenas, which unlocks the next arena, and so on and so forth, until you unlock the final boss battle against this mysterious evil fella that all the other characters have been warning you about. Each arena has anywhere from 3 to 7 battles, and once you're in the battle arena mode, you rarely get given the option to save. It's like a Mortal Kombat survival ladder. You do get the option to save on occasion if it's a super long one though. All of the arenas have their own style, which is pretty cool, you know, absolute classics. The Frying Pan Arena, the Tree Stump Arena, the Yu-Gi-Oh Arena,
I summon Pot of Greed to draw 3 additional cards from my deck.
and don't forget the Goth Arena, and so many more. What they all have in common though is a nice little cafe in each. Yep, even in the big boss battle tower, little cafe. Turns out Digimon love coffee and overpriced baked goods. You have to first go into these battle cafes and talk to the Digimon at each arena before you can actually battle at it. And you can use these cafes to engage in individual battles too, which ends up being pretty important later on. Some of the dialogue is so cringe and so cheesy, but it's actually brilliant, so I'm going to give you one of the best put downs here, and because it's not actually spoken, I'll give you a quick Hood Arcade dub. Oh, I get it, you stink at card battles, don't you? Ha ha ha. Would you like some cheese with that wine? Let me just rewind that one back quickly for our American audience. I haven't forgot yous. Oh, I get it. You stink at car battles, don't you? Ha ha ha. Would you like some cheese with that wine?
What the fuck is this?
Don't worry, I'll never do that ever again, I promise. If this stays in, I must be, lacking content because it shouldn't. Anyway, the game kicks off with you selecting a starter deck and your first partner Digimon out of an eventual 3. These partner Digimon are extremely powerful cards in the game that level up if you have them in your deck. You can upgrade them with 3 power-ups each, and as you progress through the game, you can earn Digi-Eggs for them. These Digi-Eggs allow you to evolve them into stronger versions of themselves without paying a cost in the games. However, if you choose to do this, you're not allowed to Digivolve them the normal way, so you can't Digivolve them into Champion and Ultimate cards. They've just got to duke it out until the bitter end. I started off with a red and black deck and Vmon as my partner Digimon, so super aggressive, all about winning fast with powerful shots, because I could already sense that this was going to be a long playthrough and I wanted the quickest possible route. So what makes this so difficult? I sense you furiously typing that in the comments. Well, for the most part, the difficulty is the luck factor. All TCGs have an element of luck built into them. It's literally luck of the draw. If you get a dud hand or you happen to be against an opponent whose deck is built specifically to shit on yours, then you're screwed. But because I'm a nerdy TCG veteran that spent many nights in the basements of shops like this, and this, that one especially stinks, I took to this with relative ease, but I was mostly relying on my old partner card, my little blue buddy. If I found him, I knew I could use his counter-attack ability to get out of tight spots. I worked out that the AI was often greedy and would try to use the circle attack for maximum damage, but with this counter-attack ability, it prevents me taking any damage and does their attacks damage to them. It's basically an Uno reverse card. So with that getting me out of tight spots and a sweet little deck of hard-hitting Agumons and cute little bird things, I bashed through the competition, collecting new cards as I went, upgrading my trusty red and black deck here and there. It took me about 10 hours and 54 battles all in all before I finally got to the real challenge. I worked my way up through the evil dudes at the Infinity Tower before meeting the infamous final boss, known across the web as being one of the creepiest final bosses in gaming history. And that's when something went wrong with my PlayStation. If I had gotten this far as a kid, this would have freaked me the f*** out. The game actually acts as if this guy has hacked into your PlayStation, and then there's just some face in the screen in the darkness. It's tough to spot, but when you see it, it is so creepy, man. Imagine being like 7 or 8 and just sat in your room with the lights off, staying up late, and having this face on a screen, and you think he's taking over your PlayStation and taking over your TV. I would have cried, man. I would have lost sleep over this. I used to watch Goosebumps and like not sleep after it, but I still went and watched it. So I can imagine I would have had nightmares about this specky guy here fucking nonsense on me. I've took that too far. Other than just being creepy, the Hackerman skills of this final boss, known simply as A, do actually affect your game. He prevents you from saving or leaving this area, so you're locked in it. It's either beat him with the cards that you've got, or keep trying until you turn your PlayStation off. The last save point is 2 battles back, so that's our safety net. To be honest, I really didn't think this would be much of a challenge. This talking rose informed me that his deck was super strong and had some secret powers or whatever, but that's what everyone had been telling me up to this point about every other battle, and I knocked all those motherfuckers out without trouble. I was confident. Too confident. So I locked in my trusted undefeated red and black deck, only to find out that I was totally and utterly fucked. First off, he cheats and puts your partner card to the bottom of your deck, then he draws an absolute god hand, which, spoilers, I'd later find out he draws every single time. I had no chance, and just like that, I took my first L, and this video was all for nothing. But every great anime features a comeback story, or so I'm told. I've only really seen Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon, but that's besides the point. So I decided to find some inspiration in my loss. If he was going to cheat, I'd cheat too. Well, I wouldn't really cheat as such, I just hit the reset button. Because the game wouldn't let me save, and I literally had to leave the house for a few hours, and like my granny, I don't like leaving electronics on when no one's in the house, I had no choice but to go back to the save before taking the L, thus reviving my 0 losses run. We're back, baby. I don't care if you don't like it, deal with it, I'm an adult, I couldn't sit there for hours trying to beat this guy without being allowed to leave the PlayStation. That's my excuse, I'm sticking with it, so stop typing right now. No, you don't need to post that saying that this run is void or I'm a big stinky liar. Take it the fuck back now. Stop typing. Stop. I didn't take this second chance lightly. I was going to make my anime comeback epic. I did my homework. I read up on some forums from 2001 and decided that building a yellow rare deck gave me the best chance of beating this fella on my second try. Basically, you make use of these rookie Agamon's support abilities that swap health points and turn both HPs to 200, as well as these data copy option cards that basically copy your opponent's stats. Long story short, I made a mega deck full of these fellas, some of these fellas, a sprinkle of these dudes, a few of these super cool option cards, and things that let me take advantage of his mega card's HP, his big 2000 HP booty. I beat his 2 goons again, and boom, I was locked back in. The final showdown part 2. Electric Boogaloo. My little Lego dinosaur army wiped the floor with this fella, positioning themselves right under his stupid demonic feet, subjecting him to the most painful experience known to man or Digimon. For real though, the folks over at Bandai got really lazy with these cards. Should we make some more Digimon cards? Nah lad, just make 2 separate Lego versions of the dinosaur fella.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, so I beat him, only to find out that beating the final boss is only 46% completion.
Oh my god, no way. Oh my god.
Fuck's sake. Now, I've seen a couple of other YouTubers give up at this point, saying that they've technically beat the game, but I'm much stupider than those guys, and this series is called 100% Nostalgia after all, so I committed myself to more torture. I wanted to be the first person on YouTube, or maybe the world, to 100% this game with 0 losses. I was already 12 hours deep at this point, and after getting through the first few battles of the remaining 54% chunk of the post-final boss play, it was really starting to feel like a chore. Describing this game as a grind would be an understatement. A more fitting description would be a soul-destroying gauntlet of tedium that feels closer to a prison sentence than any sort of enjoyable gaming experience. In fact, spending these hours in prison would have been easier. It took me another 28 hours to get to the real final battle. I had to beat 1, sometimes 2 extra arenas at the same locations I'd already beat, then I had to beat an extra arena on this new random desert island, including this cool monkey dude and a vampire that only let you use Digimon and had no option cards. I then had to beat all of the main Season 2 Digidestined folk, and then some of their Digimon, and all of the Season 1 Digidestined guys and some of their Digimon. Then I had to beat these Dark Master dudes at the Infinity Tower again, then Pixelmon, then at the Wisemon Tower again, then Paldramon, Shurimon, Shuragamon, Mandragamon, Gangwagamon, Ken, Mandramon, Slifermon, Shakamon, Surfermon, and then, finally, I got to the end of the online guide I was using, only to find that I was just at 75%. It turns out using a guide from 2001 was a really stupid idea. Upon finding a modern one, I realised that the final 25% was going to be extra tedious. Basically, you have to fight some characters in battle cafes up to 10 times in a row without leaving to get a special card that earns you a measly 0.6% towards completion. 0.6% for fighting the same people 10 times in a row without leaving. And I had to do this over and over. Then I had to chase this little baldy Walter White looking fella around to different locations, beat him 10 times. Then there was another handful of arenas that I had to redo that were exactly the same as last time except for the final bosses. You do get to fight some new characters and shit, but at this point you've virtually seen all the cards in the game, so it is just mind-bogglingly tedious. I just don't get why they made the game this way and how the fuck anyone worked this out in 2001 without a guide. The things you've got to do are totally arbitrary and not fun at all. Oh, you want me to do the same battle 8 times in a row? Thanks, that sounds like great fun. What are his eyes doing? What are his eyes doing? Stop looking at me. What are those? What the fuck? There was a couple of times where I could have lost, especially the situations where they force you to use pre-made decks so that you can get the partner cards that you didn't pick. But I didn't, cause I'm just that fucking hard. After you redo all of the bullshit, you've then got to get yourself up to 300 wins to unlock the real final boss. Again, completely arbitrary number. They were just sat at Bandai HQ and they just closed their eyes and went, 300, that'll do, whatever. But there he was, finally. BK War Greymon, the Digimon to free me from my Digi nightmare and allow me to get back to my Digi life after 40 Digi hours that almost sunk me into a deep Digi depression.
Gonna stop saying Digi, aye.
Finally, it was over. I did it. 303 wins, 0 losses, 100% completion. It was done.
Oh my god,
it was
beautiful.
done. After hitting 100%, you unlock Veemon's final Digi-Egg and his Mangamon armor evolution from the movie. So yeah, here it is. That's what we've worked for. That's what we spent 40 hours trying to achieve this. So breathe it in, enjoy it. You know, suck it up. There it is. This was definitely worth my girlfriend leaving me for. Definitely. That was, without a doubt, one of the longest and most grindy completions I've ever done on any game. After about 5 hours, the nostalgia kind of wore off, and the next 35 hours were just pure torture. But I'm glad I completed it, I guess. I could go and tell the lasses it's sex. Hey, I've completed the Digimon card battle game on the PS1.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I'm wasting my life. I'm actually wasting my life. For real though, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. You don't know how much it means to me. I've genuinely spent hours on this video, and I don't just mean the 40 hours playing the game, I mean filming it, editing it. You know, I've taken ages trying to get some nice cinematic B-roll and just make it a nice, pleasurable viewing experience. So I hope it has been, and if it has, leave a like, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share with your friends who might get like a nostalgic kick out of this, because that's what this was all about, giving people that little nostalgic kick and remembering when they were sat in front of the TV as a kid, you know, watching Digimon and not really knowing what was going on, but kind of enjoying the cute characters in the same way that I'm still doing at almost 30. Wow. If you're one of those folks that have watched it all the way to the end and you're still watching now, drop the word Agumon below in the comments, then I'll know that you've watched all the way to the end, and I can shout you out in the next video in the same way that I'm shouting these people out here who left the special word in the previous video. So let me know you've watched this far and let me reply to you, and we can be pals, because, you know, you're a proper legend. Like, if you're just watching this all the way through and, like, you know, leaving a comment and leaving a little like and subscribing to the channel, you're a hero and you've made me day. So, you know, thanks. You should feel good about that. Thanks. Anyway, I've taken too much of your time away already, so thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you next time right back here in the Hood Arcade playing another old nostalgic game. See you next time. If you haven't got enough though, if you haven't got enough so far, you can watch another video. If you really want to hear me drone, there they are.